Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is 9:23. We are Star 5, the latest evening. We are coming to you live and we are back in action this evening. We got a lot of news and stuff that's been going on for the day. I'm your host, one of the co-hosts. I'm Boss. Who else I got to my right?
Are you the boss?
Chosen
All right, now you got the boys Groovy.
And that brings you back to the Men for Better Future podcast. We are coming to you live from the heart of the heartland of the state of Florida on the east coast of the lower east side of the greatest state in South Florida called the Treasure Coast, the baddest coast in the land. Well, first off, we want to go ahead on and get right into it. We want to welcome back our dear brother real quick. You know we know we had been missing each other over the last couple of weeks. We know you've been working your butt off. You got a lot of stuff that you got in the pipeline that you're working on, and we just want to just welcome you back to the show. We know
Appreciate it.
that we've been missing each other constantly. So all I just want to just say is I just want to thank you for your service, doc.
I
And
appreciate all y'all.
and then we got somebody new that's gonna be joining us this evening, and I want to just go ahead on and bring him up on camera real quick. We're gonna highlight him. We got Iowa Bo that's joining us this evening. Iowa Bo, you got anything you want to say? You want to give a shout out? You want to tell the people who you are, what you represent?
Yeah, I'm from Fort Pierce. I represent the people.
You represent the people.
Represent the people.
He represents the people.
Straight up.
Not the station. We're talking about what we got going on right now in the community. So, to none avail Zoe. So, what's been going on? We know we've been going back and forth. We've been talking and we've been constantly debating. We've been talking about a lot of different topics and stuff over the past few days. We also know, I know that two of us pretty much are almost probably 90% sure of who's gonna be supporting on this fall. We know that that you are truly a person that hasn't really made a choice on who they're going to be supporting on this fall. And I know you've been getting a lot of flack from a lot of different people and stuff. And I know we just want to know how the political cycle over the past couple of days. You know, you've been going probably about at least like a week and a half and stuff. Like just tell us like some of your views of what you've been seeing, and just be candid with us. Just talk about it.
Absolutely, yeah. So over the past week, I've been busy doing some
Oh,
entrepreneur things.
let's
Oh,
stop
yeah,
you
go
real
ahead.
quick. So I want to give a shout out to everybody that we have that is joining us by way of Facebook and also on Twitch. We are streaming live tonight on Twitch, so that way we can maximize our voices, and so that way we can be able to bring power to the people that the people need. Thank you. Go ahead, Zo.
Yeah, I've been doing some entrepreneur things, getting some jobs for the new people, getting some jobs in order. Outside of that, keeping up with the political atmosphere as well. I've been wanting to put my input in since the Olympic because a lot of things been going down that I think that we should talk about. And it's not just in the realm of political; it's ideology as well. So I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of what I've been watching and digesting over the time. It's been a lot of right wing, left wing media geared. Some Matt Walsh, some breaking points, a little bit of views from Ryan Grimm. I'm on both sides, Jimmy Dore, so I'm getting a little bit of insight on different ideas of journalists on both sides of the spectrum, right? And I'm also keeping up with just barely keeping up with what's going on politically with Kamala being the forerunner of the Democratic Party on that ticket versus Trump, and the new pick with Tim Walz and versus JD Vance that's going on. So this is a lot of hype that I've been keeping up with. But yeah, so over the week and a half, outside of working on the entrepreneur things I was telling you guys about, I've been watching I've been watching, like I said, a lot of media. And lately, as of late, even Nelly getting in trouble. I don't know if a lot of people heard about that with ecstasy pills and whatnot. I've been trying to keep up with what's going on. So I wanted to bring to light. Hold on, I'm looking at it right. I'm looking for it. I should have been a little bit more prepared.
Oh, don't worry about that because I've already got pretty much the topics, and as you get ready to go to it, you just go ahead on, you just signal it or just send it to me over in the chat.
Right, right. I got one there, but it was on TMZ, and yeah, I'm gonna have to put that on the back end and get back to it because I lost the page. But again, so we all know that I'm very independent with my political ideology.
Wait,
So
wait, wait, wait. The first thing that we got up on the dais right now, I'm saying dais, I'm speaking in legal terms, but we got the YSL trial. So I want to go to the YSL trial, and we want to go get the update, and then we're going to go back to it. Just notate us inside of the note in the note spot, and just let us know exactly what it was, and then we'll go back to the story.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to turn everybody's attention over to the YSL trial. We know that we've been watching and what's been going on down in Atlanta. There was some new motions and stuff that were put into the trial. There was some things that have been going on inside the YSL trial. So can you go ahead and go to the screen? Can we get the screen up? Come on, production crew. Come on, man, y'all production team. Y'all making us look bad. Oh, there we go. Y'all finally got it up there. Let's go. All right. So we've been listening to the YSL trial. So therefore, there have been some things that have been discussed over the past few days in regards to YSL. So I got a quick video that I'm about to get ready to play so that we'll be able to come back and we'll listen to it on the other side. So ladies and gentlemen, go ahead on and listen, and then we'll just have everybody to chime in with your comments. Anybody have any comments, just comment and just let us know, and we'll answer, and we'll get to every last one of those comments if you got anything that you would like to add in on this story.
Reporter Rachel Aragon, she's live at 5 outside the Fulton County Courthouse. And Rachel, the judge overseeing rapper Young Thug's trial has a lot of monumental motions to rule on.
Correct. Plenty on her plate. In the latest motion filed by the lead attorney for rapper Young Thug, a.k.a. Jeffrey Williams, asked the current judge to basically kick the top prosecutors off of this historically long case. Looking deeper at this new motion, it focuses in part on potential Brady material or information favorable to the defendant's case. In the court filing, defense attorneys allege prosecutors attempted to hide Brady evidence related to the state's key witness, Karen Copeland, from the defendant. Well, Judge Paige Reese Whitaker has yet to rule on other motions, including a motion for a mistrial and a motion for a fair trial. But today, she did ask prosecutors directly if there was Brady material or anything else the defense should know about.
Is there, at this stage, which is mid-trial, anything else, whether Brady or not,
Oh man, she ain't playing.
that you think
She said
might
anything.
be relevant to either the state or the defense in trying this case that you, the state, know of, that the defense still does not know of?
Now, after a pretty long pause, the judge again has said to please check back with her and get a response to her on that very question. As for the trial itself, well, as of right now, the judge says the jury and the state's key witness, Kenneth Copeland, will return Monday morning. Live in downtown Atlanta, Rachel Aragon, Atlanta News First.
So, any questions in pertaining to the YSL trial? Is there anything that anybody wants to weigh in on? Because I know that what's been going on over these past few months have been they say that this is the longest trial in Georgia's history. So when you're thinking about saying that this is the longest trial in Georgia history, so my thing is it's always going to come back to how do the taxpayers feel about this particular situation when it's all said and done. So anybody got anything they want to add towards that?
Yeah, real quick. This has gone far enough. I mean, I get the fact that you can be labeled as a kingpin if you're in an organization and you're like the breadwinner of the organization. But at some point, let's just get realistic and get to the facts of the matter. You only can get convicted if they find evidence of you committing that crime, and they bring forth that evidence to the jury trial. The jury get convinced that you're guilty, right? And then you get the guilty verdict by way of the judge. But as the judge said, it's been going on for far too long. There's no way a trial going on almost a few years now. I don't want to give the wrong number, but we've been going on for an awful long time for RICO crimes that this man potentially didn't commit. As far as murder, did he put the finger on the trigger and kill somebody? I mean, if they do have that evidence, present it and move forward. But they're dragging this man. This is costing him money in the long run, right? Because it's not cheap. When you go to court, that's not cheap. You're paying to the bench, right? So that's what I just want to include. Like, this is going on far too long, and they're making him into an example that they want to make, concrete for later in the years when they use this on somebody else.
Chosen one.
Well, it's a different kind of case. When you're dealing with a RICO case, they really don't have to prove, allegedly per se, what I've heard. You really don't have to prove that he pulled the trigger. You just got to prove he's the leader of the organization that he has the influence to corrupt others. And that's why that's why they was trying to get Woody to just implement him as the leader of the game. Because if they can implement him as the leader of the game, who called the shots? The president called the shots, right? It's just that simple.
Yeah, but racketeering is also a blanket charge that they use to go after people that they can't necessarily otherwise go after with all the evidence that they have. So in other words, you pointing the finger at somebody saying that this person, that's like Nino Brown pointing his finger at his right-hand man and saying he's the real kingpin, not me.
Hey, I agree with you. It's an easier conviction.
But
I mean, if I'm a prosecutor, why go through trying to convict that one person did all this when I can just say, hey, it's an organization, gang organization, and I just got to prove one leader.
Because we have rights.
It's easier, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's easy. You'll never get a conviction trying to get people just to simply snitch on Young Thug. They're not going to do it. He'll be free in a month. They pretty much showing you they ain't really got evidence on him, but to convict him, they put a RICO on him, and that's what's dragging him.
I totally agree with that. But the thing is that when we're looking at like you just said, when we hear RICO, the one thing that Fanny, I don't know what she like to call herself these days, but all I can say is that when you've gotten to a point where you're getting ready to prosecute someone, and so therefore you're going through the prosecution process of prosecuting the individual, why is it that this young man has been on trial for this long? You have already got convictions on several other individuals that have been a part of this trial. There were two, I think it was two per se conversation in which people that know from the legal sphere, when it's per se, that's meaning that these are conversations that are being had with the judge out of hearing from the individuals that are on the defensive side. But my thing is, why did those meetings take place in front of the past judge, George Earl? Is it Earl? I can't remember his last name, but I know it's Earl, something like that.
I can't remember.
He was removed from the bench, in which he had several arguments that the defense have been trying to make over this past time, is that that information that's been withheld from this trial. So my question is, if all this stuff is being withheld, you have the right to face your accusers at the end of the day, correct? Absolutely. So if you don't have the right to face your accusers, why are we constantly just sitting back here and we just going to continue to keep on pushing this thing down the road, and we're not focusing on the issues at hand? That we have a two-tier justice system in this country that is systemically oppressive towards one individual class of people when it is pertaining to equal justice. But my thing is last I checked, on the top of the Supreme Court, it says equal justice under the law. And so therefore, if it's going to be equal justice under the law, why isn't justice being had for this young man that has been on trial in the longest trial in Georgia state history on this RICO case?
Well, it sound like to me the judge even frustrated with it. Like she ready to get.
Yeah, she said she's done with it. She said, I need every duck to be in a row. And if the ducks are not in a row, if there's anything that you got hidden anywhere, you better give it to the defense. Because if you don't have it, I'm gonna call mistrial on all these cases.
But to further that, I think that if they didn't have the RICO, I think he'd have been home in probably a month or two, because they really ain't have nothing on him, you know. But
right.
what per se what people said, but because of the rap life he lived, because of what people said, because of the name that he claimed to represent, they put a RICO on him. That's how they get us, bro. We sit around and we rep the Chicago Bulls, and we rep the leader when it's good.
That's true.
This is our problem. We rep it until it's bad.
That's true.
We want to be the leader of this until it gets bad. All you seeing is the trick of how we gonna trick the leader into getting himself trapped, because we can't get a conviction with them trying to convict them by themselves.
Right.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. You got to look at it from both sides. The prosecutor saying if I go at him by himself, I know I can't get him. That's why it's taking you so long to convict him with a RICO, because you really ain't got much on him, but all you got to do is prove that he's the leader of
the Chicago Bulls. But I'm going to hush. I'm going to leave it there. You got anything you want to add, Bo, real quick before we get ready to move on to our next topic?
Well, basically, I want to add is that basically it's like this trial been going on for way too long, and basically, I think they're gonna be a mistrial at the end of the day. It's like they wanted Jeffrey so long.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted him so long. They wanted him back. Okay, I mean, like basically, this trial made a whole state. It made all them black people in charge in Atlanta make all them people look bad. It make all the black people look bad.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? They try to make it look bad because first of all, they doing illegal stuff. So it's gonna be a mistrial at the end of the day.
I think that it's gonna be a mistrial. Period.
Yes.
Because look how long it's taken. Look how long it took up to this point.
It don't take a RICO that long.
No.
My God.
Wait a minute.
If the man Scarface, if he anybody, man, free El Chapo, man. Free my dog, man. Y'all doing El Chapo wrong, man. I swear.
How about that? Free Larry Hoover. Let's talk about that.
That man did a lot of good, man. Come on now.
Free Larry Hoover. Let's talk about that. Yeah, we want to go there. Let's talk about the people who made changes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There were some difference makers out here, man.
Let's go.
There's some difference makers now.
Free BG.
Free
C Murder. Free C Murder.
Hey, one time for C Murder, Bossalini, man.
Hey.
Shout out, man.
Hey, Lester. Hey, the chosen one.
Yes, sir.
The chosen one.
Yes, sir.
Do y'all think that what's going on in Jacksonville? Y'all think that young man, what is called, the rapper called?
Julio.
No, not Julio. The dude that
Ace. Is it Ace?
Young and Ace.
Y'all think they're gonna get we gonna charge him and his homeboys, him and his crew?
I think that they're on the way to coming to a RICO charge because it's from when we listened to the prosecutor a few days ago, she was just talking about that. They're going to be getting ready to charge.
Yes.
This case, they already charged 5. So
but they say he had to do with it.
They're going to be multiple witnesses. And then also, I want to just shine light on this. Any of you young people that's listening this evening, it's some stuff that happens like during these reenactments that these police officers, they are taking camera footage from Tesla vehicles and any other vehicle that has cameras inside of their cars, and they are recording these things. They are subpoenaing these things to be able to trap you and trap you inside of these particular crimes. So therefore, be mindful. Don't think about going out here getting in trouble, because as fast as they caught them, it took them how many weeks? It took them almost 3 weeks, less than a month. When all the task force and everything get together, just know that the boys in blue and green will be coming for you, and also those alphabet boys. And I'm not talking about the ones that end in Q, but the ones that end in I.
Bro, just the FYI, the Teslas are a mini police station. They record everything.
We got a comment. This is coming in. I think this is coming in from YouTube. Good evening, gentlemen. I don't believe the prosecutor had enough substantial evidence to fully prosecute the case. The case has turned into a complete circus and will end in a mistrial.
That was it.
I think we all agree with you.
Right, and Ms. Pierce, she also correlates. She follows up. She said it shouldn't take years if there was solid evidence to prosecute, and that's correct. And we feel exactly the same as that way.
Exactly.
It's like, how many times do we put these billionaires, hedge fund guys? We need to start putting these billionaire hedge fund guys on the bench, and let's do the same as that thing that you're doing to these so-called criminals that y'all are calling criminals because of the particular lifestyle that they're talking about inside of their lyrics. Last I checked, that the art form of hip hop is art. It's not to be subjective as to be something that is currently taking place. When you listen to these rappers, when they talk about like they got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, some rappers do have that opportunity where they do end up that way, but sometimes they don't end up that way. But we got to understand, like, if we're going to be on even footing, we have to start teaching our young people, because if we go back to the days of Tupac, Biggie, and all of our former leaders in hip hop, when you watch them and you listen to how they spoke about hip hop, and they talked about lifestyles and what was going on in their communities. But these young people these days are not talking about what's going on in the communities. They're talking about getting turned up, popping pills, hunting girls,
killing somebody.
And doing all these other things. It's just like, when are we as individuals are going to start going to a point where we need to be able to make sure that we get at the table of solutions, so that way we can be able to get our young brothers out of the situations that they're going through. It's like we work around young people all day.
All day.
So when we get ready to deal with these same particular instances, we always deal with some kids that are trying to get out of the gang life. They are running from getting killed from individuals. They are constantly getting caught up with having to go and sell drugs, and they don't want to sell drugs. They ended up having to do things. But OGs, that's not even OGs. These OGs are pretty much like 16 and 17-year-olds, and you got these 12 and 14 and 10-year-olds looking up and glorifying what these guys are doing, but they're not coming with a substantial message to get our young people on to where they need to be at. And that's what we got to start doing. And that's our biggest problem. We got to do our job as men. And my sister, Miss Pierce, I want to thank you for your comment, and I feel exactly where you're coming from.
I appreciate you too.
As far as with the solid substantial evidence, and that's exactly correct. They don't have any evidence. And in the words of my dear old dearly departed brother, Mr. Johnny Cochran will say, if it didn't fit, then you must have quit.
What's up?
Hey,
Mr. Tommy.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel comfortable with sharing our viewers with a story?
I'm gonna tell us some stories.
With a story?
We're gonna end it with.
Because we sure got some stories.
We got a lot of stories that we can tell.
Yes.
And the thing is that we have to start letting people understand exactly, like, look, we're not just out here to talk. We don't call ourselves MLBF for no reason. And we're not a coalition for any reason. We are Men for Better Futures Coalition for a reason. We are out here trying to save young individual souls and try to get them exactly where they need to be at in life. If you're not doing that, and you're not trying to be a part of the solution or the problem, if you're not trying to be a part of the solution, you are the problem. And that's what we need to make sure that we continue to turn this understanding back to those particular issues, my brother. And I thank you for your words. Now we got to move on to our next topic. So we finna stop on with my boy from YSL in the airport. I got so we finna turn it over and we finna talk about a little bit of a couple of political things that are going on as of right now. Then we're gonna turn it over to YZ and he's gonna go on to his next story. And therefore we've been sitting back and like we all been talking about, we've been looking at this election process and we've been wondering exactly, okay, dang, what's going on? We got all this stuff that's going on about individuals that really feels that that the vice president isn't a legitimate vice president and that she's not able to run for office and being able to hold the highest office in the land. And then we bring in one JD Vance. Let me see if I got that up. Have we got that up on screen yet? Okay, it's coming up. Come on. All right, one JD Vance. Okay, yeah, there it is. All right, we got one JD Vance. And if you want to take a chance, and I want you to go ahead on and look and watch this video real quick, and then we'll talk and we'll come back and we'll have a debate on the other side, so that way we can discuss exactly what is taking place as far as what's happening inside of the political world, so that way we can be able to bring insight and understanding to you all, so that way you can understand exactly how you can get a full picture of understanding what's going on. I'm talking to you Gen Z, I'm talking to you millennials, I'm talking to you Gen X's, I'm talking to everybody that's under the sound of my voice right now. We're going to listen at this video and we'll talk about it on the other side.
We could be orderly, please.
Yes, ma'am. Did you see the vice president?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
I just wanted to check out my future plane, but I also wanted to go say hello to the vice president and ask her why Kamala Harris refuses. Why does she refuse to answer questions from the media? And I also thought that the press gaggle following her.
Second, we having some difficulties right now. Hold up. I'm just waiting on the video to come back up. It should be coming back up in a second.
Might get a little lonely. I at least have enough respect for you all and for the American people you report to come and talk to you and to answer some questions. And so I thought her reporters might actually benefit from that as well. So had a little bit of fun. I don't think the vice president waved at me as she drove away, but I'm glad to have done it, and I'm glad to hear. Be here in Wisconsin actually trying to persuade people to vote for us as opposed to just giving another scripted speech. The questions?
You did see the vice president.
I saw her car. I did not see the vice president. The windows are tinted.
Did you get to speak with her? You didn't get to speak with her?
I did not speak to her. No, I don't. I think she was trying to get the hell out of there as quickly as possible. But I did speak to a lot of the press gaggle following her.
Do you think it's effective to essentially tail her trail the rest of this week or during this week?
Well, clearly we think it's effective because we're here, right? I mean, look, there are 6 or 7 states that are going to decide the entire election. We think it's important to get out there and talk to people to make the best case that we can. And obviously there's an element of, especially local media is going to cover her because she's the vice president and a presumptive nominee. So we think it's important to have a counter narrative here, and importantly to drive home this point that she has been a dangerous radical. She has pursued very far left policies, from defunding the police to opening the American southern border to increasing the price of housing and groceries on Americans. This happened because of her policies, and I think it's important that the American people actually know that. And again, I really can't believe she's been the presumptive nominee for 17 days, and she hasn't taken a real question from reporters.
Did Walz return your phone call?
I'm sorry?
Did the governor return your phone call yesterday?
He actually did, but he left a voicemail. I think I was on the plane yesterday evening when he called me back. I haven't talked to him since.
President Trump said in Atlanta over the weekend at your joint rally that justice and defiance worked hard to define Kamala Harris. Is she harder to define than President Biden?
No, I think she's actually. I think Kamala.
All right, guys. Now, what we just seen and what we just witnessed just now, I'm gonna tell you. I start off with my point of view real quick. First off, I really feel like that JD Vance, in other words, when we talk about Secret Service, I understand that this is a fellow candidate that is running for the highest office, the second highest office in the land, and therefore there is a level of decorum, and this is not decorum. You don't. I understand this asking questions and wanting to talk. If you want to talk to the vice president, tell your boy Donald Trump to come on and go on and debate one Kamala Harris. Because my thing is that if you can't be man enough to say, okay, I'm not debating anybody, and that I don't feel like I need to debate. He doesn't feel like that they need to debate each other, and that they need to be debating. That he needs to be debating her himself because she's the vice presidential nominee. Because they don't know if the Democrats are going to make her the presumptive nominee. So that's just pretty much my pet peeve. You walked up, you wanted smoke, so now you pull up, and now you're looking for the vice president to come out and talk to you. That's wrong. I don't agree with that. Not one bit. That's just like somebody walking up on you, coming up to your job while you doing your job and you out doing the handling your own business, and they come and walk up on you like that. Come on now, my brothers. Let's go. It's all about respect, and it's about a level of decorum. And plus, it's safety. It's the number 2. She one heartbeat away from the presidency. And the Secret Service should be ashamed of themselves for allowing that to take place on the taxpayers' dime, just in order for a photo op and for the Air Force 2 and disgracing the citizens of the United States.
I want to interject here and add my 2 lines. In my opinion, I see absolutely nothing wrong with this. We're in an election time where even the journalists are real antsy, right? So you got to be able to take some bruises and beatings in the election time. Now, the fact that they both, right, the vice president Kamala Harris, who has Secret Service, and JD Vance, soon to be vice president if Trump wins, has Secret Service. There's nothing wrong with them talking or wanting to meet. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. They're both what we call public servants, right? They're not above the law. They're not private citizens. They don't get the obligation of having nobody talk to them and answering questions. No, they have to answer questions to both journalists and other political opponents when they see fit, because if it wasn't allowed, it wouldn't have been done. Now, people may have opinions, but the fact that they both have Secret Service, what, JD Vance going to shoot her or something? Like, what are we talking about here? They're both public servants to the American people. They're in an election year trying to have discourse, rather it be through an interview or by way of physical contact by meeting each other. What happened to the good old days when people talk to one another? People hiding from interviews, people not wanting to share their ideas to the American people. That is kind of fishy to me. So if you're avoiding camera, you're telling me and raising red flags. However, I see nothing wrong with opponents. We see it when we watch boxing matches, right? That it's the hype, right? So if somebody gets the advantage of getting fed more on the hype, maybe it's an advantage, right? But it's all a game that they're all playing. They're political opponents at the end of the day. Who's going to assassinate one another? I don't believe neither one will assassinate one or another. But I do believe that they have the right to speak to one of another when they're within feet of each other, right? So that's just why I stand there just looking at it like the overview of what's going on. They're public servants.
Yeah, they're public service, but you're talking about the vice president of the United States.
A public servant.
Hold on, but you're potentially talking about the vice president of the United States. If I'm a rapper and I got a private jet and my op, somebody who's told that per se telling the world that they are against me, I got an op. You think I want somebody to let them walk up and take a look at my plane because they want something that I have already?
You'll be a private citizen at that point.
What I'm saying is, as the vice president in the position he's running to be vice president, it's proper protocol that he can take to get what he's asking for. He don't have to walk to the plane to see because he think he's gonna be a potential. He's really just, it's spiteful, bro. It ain't genuine. It is spiteful. Like if he really wanted a interview or to sit down with Kamala, she ain't never ran, bro. They the one ran. Let's be honest about it. She never ran from a debate. The girl just was declared the president. Y'all got to give her time. She only one person. She ain't, this stuff ain't even sunk in.
Presumptive nominee.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is she haven't even had time to do nothing.
When she was invited to the that interview that Donald Trump had with the 3 black women on that panel at that Black College or what it was. I can't remember the setting, but she was invited by CNN and they said no.
Okay, are you able to tell your job to tomorrow that something came up? No, they don't have a problem with it, bro. When you got
private versus public.
What I'm saying is people have plans prior to that. Just like she took that other engagement without meeting that other guy, the important guy that came back. We had that topic a while back. Like people have prior engagements before she became the president. This is what y'all have to understand. I can't, if I done committed to you a whole year to come to you got all these kids waiting on me to come a whole year. But 2 weeks before I all of a sudden, God blessed me with having the ability to run to be the president. Now I've had you waiting on me 11 and a half months to show up. All these kids been anticipating me. I'm just trying to put you in other people's shoes so y'all ain't looking at it from just one side, bro. You feel me? I've been committed to this a year. These kids depending on me. These young people who have ambitions on getting where I'm at, they're dependent on me. No, I'm not going to cancel that engagement. No, I'm going to keep my word because as a man and a woman, your word is your bond and that's all you have. And we should learn to keep that regardless of the situation, regardless of the fact.
And then the man showed up and was supposed to have an interview with the panel of 3 women plus Kamala and him, and she didn't show up. He kept his word. He came.
So, but the thing is, this is my thing. You don't see any issue.
Well, I think the world should see an issue after allegedly Trump just took a bullet to the ear. So, I mean, anybody walking up to, I mean, the vice president's able to even get close to the plane, being that the boy was able to do all that he did to even per se shoot at Trump. Come on, man. Y'all got to be realistic now. Come on, it's not okay. I don't care who it is. Even if it was me, it's not okay. They should not let me get that far as close to that plane, even if it's me. And I know I ain't on no drama. I'm just there to be in awe, like to pay homage. But
so
I ain't gonna realize it's not okay.
There's no law that prohibits people from approaching public servants in that manner, in that capacity. Journalists can approach them. So the equality that a journalist has, the political opponent also has that same right. There's no president or vice president that's above the law to where it makes them untouchable from the public. They just have Secret Service as a barrier, but there's no law that says you can't approach. You want to approach with caution, yeah, but they're political opponents. I see nothing wrong with approaching your political opponent. There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, ain't
I agree. You got something to add, Bill?
It's nothing wrong with it. I mean, to me, it's nothing. I agree with you. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you can get something scheduled for you to be against your opponent, it's just as easy as a word of mouth to face off with somebody. You ain't got to do all that, bro. Like you're doing too much. Let's just be honest. He's doing too much, bro. Like, bro, you can set up something to go at the girl. Like, come on, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's before you go on, right? If he's doing too much by doing that, right? That's just approaching your political opponent. That's doing too much. We already got a baseline of doing too much. So what would be the matter with somebody insinuating that
Me personally, if I was JD Vance, I would just say I want to face off with. I want to debate the Kamala. Point blank. Period. She ain't gonna back down, bro. Guaranteed. But it ain't even worth her time to do it.
It's not custom, but it ain't custom.
But what I'm saying is, what y'all saying? Y'all acting like the girl. Y'all trying to make it seem like the girl is not. The girl is open. She ain't been the president a day. Like been the nominee a day. Like, bro, if you won't smoke. Bro, if you won't smoke, go get it. Tell the world. Just ask for it. She'll bring it to you. If you won't smoke, ask for it directly. Don't pump fake. That's people's problem. They act like they want to fight. Then when it comes time to fight, they want to talk. Come on, man. Y'all got to stop. That's not okay. That girl ain't back down from nothing. We still waiting on Trump to accept a debate. Correct?
Yeah, go ahead, Reynolds. You wanted to interject?
Yeah, I wanted to say that it's just the energy that man is doing, JD. Since Harris, Kamala Harris,
we having some feedback. We losing your signal. You got a bad signal. If you can get your signal right real quick because you like kind of fading a little bit. Go ahead. You can go ahead. Yeah.
No, you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
I think Harris has all that energy had went down. Like you see all these shows, all the news shows showing that all that increased energy with the Trump had been going down. So he had to do something to make her scared. Because she's not scared of nobody. That lady is a strong black woman. She's strong.
Wow.
But JD had it definitely shows that vice president lemon person something to make the Republican. Republican.
Could you restate that for us again because you're breaking up?
Okay. What I'm saying, the Trump side,
is everybody getting feedback? Yeah, he breaking up. Sound like he has a really good point. Sound like he's trying to per se a really good point. We need to hear that. So let's get it right.
I'm sorry. I'll take it. Big time.
Hey, Reynolds, let me stop you real quick. Let me stop you real quick. If you could, I'm gonna bring you down on camera. If you want to come in, if you're close by, if you can come into the studio real quick, we can go ahead on and we can get your comment on air. So if you want to, if you could.
Hey, while you doing that, I got a clip that I want to show if you don't mind. It's in queue.
I don't want him to lose his train of thought though, man, because he was on to something. Man.
Okay, come on.
You got I don't want him to lose his train of thought.
Come on, stage. All right. You want to, Zoe, you can go ahead on and go to that story. You can go ahead on the full screen.
All right. Picture. Let me know when it. You probably have to go to that tab.
All right, I'll pull it up.
You took issue.
You got it? All right, so I just want to bring back in reference to our conversation about the leading presidential Democratic nominee. This is her having her interview form or debate with Tulsi Gabbard, which I believe should be the president on that ticket, right? So this is once Republican turned Democrat, Tulsi Gabbard. She's an actual military veteran. She actually has accomplishments. So this is a strong opponent right here. But this is my view again. This is the person that's avoiding interviews. Let's see what Tulsi Gabbard have to say. Let's see what Kamala Harris has to say.
Congresswoman Gabbard, you took issue with Senator Harris confronting Vice President Biden at the last debate. You called it a, quote, false accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about reentering former offenders and getting them counseling. It is why, and because I know that criminal justice system is so broken, that I am an advocate for what we need to do to not only decriminalize, but legalize marijuana in the United States.
I want to bring Congresswoman Gabbard back in. Your response.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Senator Harris.
My entire career, I have been personally opposed to the death penalty, and that has never changed. And I dare anybody who is in a position to make that decision, to face the people I have faced, to say, I will not seek the death penalty. That is my background. That is my work. I am proud of it. I think you can judge people by when they are under fire, and it's not about some fancy opinion on a stage, but when they're in the position to actually make a decision, what do they do? When I was in the position of having to decide whether or not to seek a death penalty on cases I prosecuted, I made a very difficult decision that was not popular to not seek the death penalty. History shows that, and I am proud of those decisions.
All right. If you still with me, everybody, that's just one.
What's the issue?
Sorry? Cannot hear you at this moment in time.
What's the issue?
The issue is about her record. About if you track then and now with California, the track record of the level of Black and brown people in her district and her jurisdiction that was getting prosecuted by her at that time, it was 10-1. And then at the same time, Tulsi also mentioned that she tried to prosecute people with possessions of marijuana, but also later explained that, yeah, I used to smoke marijuana when I was in college. So having a connection to it, she made it illegal. Well, not made it illegal. She made it to where she put people behind bars, and the cash bail system, they made it harder for people who didn't have finances to be able to bail out on petty crimes. And they was using those people far beyond their sentences to do free labor. That's what she did in the state of California. Also connecting this interview with the fact that she was the border czar for the last 4 years, and the immigration rate coming through the border has been 80,000 until just recently, where a bill was passed and it said on paper that it was cut 30,000. So we went from 80,000 a month to now 50,000.
Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
Hey, you have to let them finish.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead on and finish.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and finish and say the fact that the matter still stand as the borders are. There was more illegals led in this country under this presidency than it was in the previous 2 presidencies. The fact of the matter still stands. A subtraction of 30,000 doesn't change the difference. Let's just have less than 10,000 people cross the border. We can't do that with the administration that we have now. So 80,000, 50,000, we're still talking about well over 20,000 people anyways at a time crossing the border per day. So let the record show that these are actual numbers and not opinions, right? The fact that the matter still stand. More immigrants have crossed the border in the last 4 years combined in the last 2 presidencies together. Okay, and need be, I can pull up those numbers so I can make feelings dissipate. But who is in control of that? Again, Miss Kamala Harris. There's no track record of doing your job there, right? That's where that's why I conclude this sentence here, this conversation here.
Okay, well, I understand what you're saying, but the difference from I learned as being in college, the difference of opinions or things that people say is facts. So as far as for everything you said or everything that lady said about when Kamala Harris was a senator, when she was a prosecutor, what those things that everything that was said was all negative of what she did terrible to these criminals or these people that was gonna get her, and she was a prosecutor. But how that all that negative stuff or that's all that stuff that they bring up, and it seemed that hurt her, how she became the senator of the state of California. I don't understand. How was she voted the senator for those terms?
Make it make sense.
Come on now, if she did all this, how can the biggest state in the United States?
I know what you're saying. He's saying that she prosecutor before she senator. Why would a whole state vote her to be have more power when with little power she already was affecting us?
Exactly.
Good job, Riddle.
Make it sense. So that's why
comments that came in. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to your comments, Miss Chris.
Yeah. But I just wanted to make it short. You know what I'm saying? All that negative false information was not facts. You know what I'm saying? But that did not stop her to be the senator for the time and was effective, because that's why she was chosen to be the vice president at this time. So everything I learned a long time ago, everything you hear is not the truth.
Yes, sir.
That's why the state of California voted her as a senator at that time. And then now she was accepted the vice president with Biden. She did a great job. Now she got another opportunity to be the first Black woman president. This lady, she did her thing. All people will always talk negative or lie about you. But
the lady started at McDonald's, Shallow, McDonald's, man.
You control your own narrative. So it shows that whatever person heard,
McDonald's, man.
It gotta be high. Because again, all this
Trump
stuff
ain't never worked at McDonald's, man. That man ain't never worked at no fast food shop, no man.
How the hell did the state California? How? I want to know all that stuff. It was true. How she became a senator?
I got something I want to add. If I could, so
The same way she became a senator, same way Tulsi Gabbard became a senator, same way Joe Biden became a senator.
Let's correct the record. Tulsi Gabbard was an elected representative of Congress in her own country or state
of Hawaii.
The island
of Hawaii. The same way. The same
she
way.
Was voted in, and they sent her behind out of there because she got doggone far push right to MAGA. She got so freaking corrupted. Let's not talk about the stuff that what she did to her own people inside of her in her state. We can leave it right there. We can continue to talk until we blue in the face. I don't see one thing that she said in that on stage that filleted her. As last I checked, didn't they try to say that she was of Indian heritage? Because she pretty much sound and I hate to sound using the card of race, but she sounded awfully black to me just then, didn't she?
Yes, yeah.
She sounded awfully black. Since they want to make sure that they want to put a strike against her, since I want to call this birtherism in 3.0. Now we need to go. Wait a minute. No, let me finish talking to my brother.
This is crazy.
Because this is the thing. They want to. We've already told. We talked about this before. Everything got ready to happen. I said they're gonna throw everything at her, but the kitchen sink. They're gonna throw everything they could possibly throw at Kamala right now at this moment in time. The only reason why all of these things are happening is because they want to continue to deflect the situation that Trump is running a terrible campaign. He hasn't been on the road in days. They want to constantly deflect and try to continue to protect this individual person who does not serve the will of the American people. This man is constantly talking about himself being a dictator on day one. He's also talking about all this other foolishness, but you want to sit up and you want to talk about somebody filleting the future president of the United States. But we don't want to talk about that. But we want to sit. But Trump wants to just talk about crowd sizes. And if his friend J.D. Vance is the number 2 member of the He-Man Woman Hating Club, as the vice president candidate Walz said today on the Democratic side, it's almost like they're in the race of the He-Man Woman Hating Club. And then you want to sit up and you want to talk about that you're for all these things that you want to get done inside of our country. But you want to sit up here and talk about on day one that you're going to deport over 25 million people? I sat down yesterday and I listened to Stephen, the number 2 person that was in Trump's White House that wrote and co-wrote Project 2025 that pretty much gave you a manifesto about what they're trying to do to this country. But we want to sit back and you want to continue to keep on talking about it and trying to deflect the situation. I'm going to say it like this. When people sit around and they want to talk all that foolishness, some people are the problem and some people are part of the problem. My brother, don't start to become one of the people that are a part of the problem, my boy.
I don't even know if I want to even touch on that. But what I'm gonna say is, what I'm gonna say is, you know, everybody has an opinion. Everybody.
Am I under the impression that
everybody's entitled to an opinion? I'm just gonna.
Am I under the impression that I'm part of a problem? That's what you insinuated, because I don't want to be in the camp of Kamala Harris?
No, I didn't say that.
No, listen.
I just said
I'm gonna say this. The job.
When did picking sides became?
This is what I'm saying. I said you become part of.
That's why I'm independent. I'm neither Democrat nor Republican because of situations like this here, where a person's opinion could be misconstrued.
I'm speaking. You see, the thing is what you're missing. What you're missing right now. The thing is that I didn't say that you're a part of the problem. I said that you are a part of the problem of continuing to continue to peddle the lies and the distastefulness, the racism, the bigotry, the woman hating, all of the stuff that is going on as individuals in this country. I'm talking about the issues. I understand. Last I checked, I thought that the American people are some very respected people, but right now it's becoming a bunch of hatred of foolishness.
Let me just say,
all I'm hearing from Democrats is
where is Tulsi Gabbard? Is she
the job of a prosecutor?
Wait a minute, my brother. Is Tulsi Gabbard in Congress? Is Tulsi Gabbard in elected office? Where is she? Exactly. They start her ass packing. Back to Hawaii. But she don't even live there. She lives in San Francisco.
My point is the job of a prosecutor is to prosecute whoever comes in front of them, correct?
Yes, how you doing, Young Thug?
Wait. The job of a prosecutor is to prosecute whoever come in front of them, correct? So if you go to school or whatever you got to do to be a prosecutor, correct? You are sworn in that whether it's your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your own race, whatever it may be, you are sworn to do your job. Correct?
Miss Pierce. Okay, I want to read something from that. We got some comments that are coming in. Miss Pierce, right? She says that Kamala Harris. Let me zoom this in. I got my glasses on. Kamala Harris is ready. It's time for a much needed change, despite what the media is trying to portray. I feel as though a lot of Americans are ready for change. Look at her stats amongst. Hold on. Let's go to her next one. Get back up here. I got to scroll back up. Millennials, Gen X, Gen Z, she's killing the polls. Her campaign raised millions in less than 24 hours. Yes, Hillary faced criticism. However, let's be real, Kamala is facing such backlash because she is a black woman. A black woman, highly educated, a woman at that. She is more than qualified and has the political background, years work from the ground up. Trump has power and let's go and money, but I feel as though Kamala has what it takes to lead the country. Also, if you thoroughly research it, it is a norm in some countries from women to assume head of state / head of government roles. Hashtag I'm with her. Hashtag vote. So just to reiterate to what was said by Miss Pierce, I agree. I think that it's time that we need to go into a different direction because me personally, and then we'll go around from the other three. Me personally, I think that I want to reiterate what my brother from the great city of Fort Pierce, Florida, Mr. Chosen One said. He said that we had 46 men. We had 46 men in a row. What's wrong with making a woman let her be 47? It can't get no worse than what it is since the Republicans are already talking about the sky is falling out of the sky, that the sun is falling out of the sky, the stars will be gone next week, and then next week we'll be doing some stuff on the couch. But this is the normalcy of where we came and how far we've come as a country. This thing is getting out of hand. It's just like nobody don't feel. I understand that some men feel like that they don't want to vote for Kamala. I understand that. It's your prerogative, one vote, one person. But in some areas, we got some county supervisor elections that are trying to stop people from voting. Trump has lawyers that are that's already camped out and already sitting outside of certain supervisor elections, often making sure that people are not getting the opportunity to be able to grab a ballot to vote. But that's just my opinion. Next. So, you want to weigh into what Ms. Pierce wrote?
I'm not here to change nobody's opinion or mine.
I'm not changing the opinion, but I just want to make sure that we do answer my questions about the
Well, my thing is we don't have 46 men presidents, and every time it's time for a new election, they get up and say that the world is still in a bad state. We got it a little better, or it need to be a little better as worse. I mean, after 46, 47, we deserve to give a woman a shot.
What that energy was in 2016.
It wasn't her time. That's what I'm saying. So you got to understand that
if it ain't the time, it ain't the time now.
Listen, bro. You got to understand, when God chooses you, ain't nothing you can do to stop it, bro. You feel me? One thing about an appointed time, ain't nothing the devil can do to stop it. Ain't nothing your mouth can do to sway a person's opinion about that lady, because that lady stands out and her light shine. It's her time, bro. Face it. Accept it. It's her time, bro.
Okay.
She's ready, however,
the country was ready in 2016, and they chose a president who they now say that gonna get in office and end the world, but didn't do it when he was president. I guess I'm rocking with it, then.
But it's not about rocking with
poop and call it caviar.
I mean, he entitled to his opinion. I mean,
hey, you're right. I agree with him. We'll see exactly where. Okay, from 3 months from now, we'll see exactly where he stands.
My question is, can I ask you a question, though, Zuby?
What's up?
This ain't the question I want to ask you, but I really want to ask you something else. But I ask you that personally. But my point is, what is Trump implementing that applies to your life, your family life, or anybody that you care about life right now? Give me some facts, and we're gonna write those down. Can somebody write those down? Whatever, what Trump stands for, what has Trump done that benefits you, that's going to benefit your family today, tomorrow, yesterday, the day before?
Trump?
I'm just asking.
Going to get into office.
Don't say nothing about no border, because have you been to the border?
No.
All right, I don't want to hear nothing about no border now, because that don't involve you. I'm talking about stuff that involves you, your family, and the people that you love. What? Name 1 or 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 things that he gonna do, that he has done, that has benefited you. Don't say this. Don't say the stimulus is check, because he just put his name on that.
That was needed at the time.
No, he just stamped his name on that. The Democrats gave you that.
The American people needed it at that time.
The truth is, the Democrats gave you that.
Yeah.
He stamped his name on it.
Yeah.
See, trickery and foolery is a fool. It won't fool nobody that think in the supernatural. People in the supernatural see. Just because you put he put his name on the check, don't mean he sent it.
And he didn't get shot either. It's too much.
I don't know.
All right, well,
I don't know.
Him bringing jobs back to America is not going to help me.
Let me clear this up.
Him doing any tax cuts is not going to help me.
Can I clear this up? Let me make sure everybody understand. I don't have nothing against Donald Trump. Ever since I was a kid, Donald Trump was like Bill Gates or some kind of name that all black kids glorified in the hood. Nobody hates Donald Trump, bro. But bro, when right is right and wrong is wrong, bro, you stand for nothing, bro. You'll fall for anything, bro. It's the picture is clear, bro. It's painted, bro. One is good, one is evil, bro. Which way are you going?
And we experienced a lot of evil in 2020, 2024. We experienced a lot of evil in 2016 and 2020.
Oh, but don't get away from the question. Don't get away from the question.
I was answering you.
What are Trump policies? What in Trump policy is going to help you and the people that you love dearly, that you care about, how they survive our everyday life? How can he impact them and you?
Okay. What he's going to do is he's going to bring back more jobs, because clearly we're in a recession with.
Okay, what kind of jobs the people that you love can get? The people that you love can get.
Yes.
Let's be clear. Okay, yes. Now call those people out. What kind of jobs are they going to be? Be specific, because we need to know.
We're going to have all.
No, you got to sway people to vote for him, so they need to know if they're going to have a job, whether they vote for this man or not. Be real.
We're going to have all kinds of jobs, especially drilling jobs. We're going to have manufacturing jobs. We're going to try to bring back technology jobs that went overseas. We're going to try to bring back more jobs where people can have blue collar jobs with working on vehicles, because a lot of that went overseas. We're going to keep our American made products at an affordable price, which everything is not American made. Nothing pretty much is American made. Everything's been bought out and sold, and even more during this administration. But we're going to absolutely have a high chance of getting our tax brackets reappropriated with tax cuts that can benefit all, not just the quote unquote richest people, when it really doesn't make any sense that under this administration, the billionaires 10 times X their
you still haven't told me nothing that hit home yet. Like nothing that really hit home yet.
Okay, you are one of 350 million Americans, 180 million of the workforce, and
you're right.
85 million of men out of the 180 million of workforce. You may or may not be persuaded about jobs that's overseas coming back, but it's a hell of a lot of more men that out of the 350 million Americans, 444 million black people, 14% of the population. You of one of 44 million people may not like the fact that jobs are coming back from overseas, but I'm pretty sure there's 44,999,000 other people of color would appreciate that jobs are coming back, and manufacturers.
I don't think the problem is men or people getting jobs. I think
our unemployment numbers are record high.
I just think the problem is us going to the job, working the job, and still not having enough money to pay the bills. I think that's the problem. The job, add more jobs ain't the problem.
Yeah, that would be
going, but keep on making your point. Keep making your point. I'm just trying to figure out how he gonna benefit the people that you love, the poor people, the middle class, the people that can't keep on going.
Right. So when he managed to bring those jobs back here, he's really infatuated with the border, which you don't believe that affects people with the lower, let's just say some jobs that most people don't want, that is easier for some people who don't have the means to go get it can have if they was naturally born here. He's working very hard making sure that those people who doesn't have legal papers to get in can't get in and just come and squeeze right by you and take your sweet lawn service job up out your nose. He's making sure that that's going to happen, because the Democrats would love open borders, which they have, but Trump wants to close the border, which will keep money and inflation at a lower rate than it is, because right now with open borders, it doesn't mean it's a race thing because you're thinking of Mexican. When I hear open borders, I hear NC, there's records of immigrants across the world coming in with foul and ill intentions. Have you not noticed the many men of military age coming from all countries, and mainly China, coming to the United States with no plans, but they come in and they're not being checked? This is what
I'm asking you. What I'm asking you, but you still haven't explained to me.
No, I haven't explained to you.
No, has down one of them came to your address, been in your neighborhood? No. I'm asking you how he's going to help your people, the people that you trying to sway, the people that you can influence to vote for him. How he going to help them? That's what I'm asking you. Not how he going to help the people he been helping. How he going to help the people just like you in your position?
I just try
to get down to the young people who don't know about this. How he going to help them? Make them understand it. That's what I'm trying to say, because you have the power to sway a lot of votes, bro. So if you're going to sway some votes, make sure they know what they're voting for. I'm just saying, just make people know, like, they don't understand what you're saying, Shallow. The people like the young kids, the thugs, the black people, the people who don't follow politics, they don't understand what you're saying. How's it going to help people like me and you, the black people who don't know what you're saying, who don't know the political lingo, how Trump going to help them? Those black people.
I'm trying to reiterate.
Mama can't afford that insulin. Mama can't afford insulin, so his mama done lost a leg, a foot, a toe, and about to lose her neck.
Donald Trump brought.
No, what I'm saying is, how is it going to help your people, the people that's poor, that's under that don't benefit from none of the border, that don't benefit from the border, that don't benefit from none of this crazy, this stuff, this good stuff that you're saying. I understand what you're saying. How is he going to help the people that you have the ability to sway?
He's already helped in prescription drug prices. He brought them down to record lows.
Oh my God! No, come on, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm asking you, how's he gonna help the people that we love, bro? Not the people that's rich, bro. Bro, I ain't seen the border. I ain't seen the border. I ain't seen the border. I ain't seen the border, so that don't interest me right now. That don't affect me. They ain't in my neighborhood. They are not a threat to me.
Move on.
Okay, let's move on to this. All right,
I won't be able to.
That topic because I know we can.
I'm just saying, bro. We gotta understand that we have the power, bro. We have the power. Listen, Discord has tore up churches. Discord has tore up families. Discord has tore up good organizations, bro. We got to understand that we have the power to sway people, bro. So if you are going to have the power to sway people, bro, and take people with you, bro, you need to make sure that they know what they're getting themselves into. And that's all I'm making sure, that the people that glorify Trump just because they think he got money, I want them to really understand what they're getting when they actually vote for him, so they ain't going to hell and asking for a chance to get up and redo it again.
The people who, quote unquote, glorify Trump, don't you think they already lived under his presidency and seen a lot of flourish during his time?
No, because before Trump was the president, we glorified him as kids because we thought he was just a billionaire. He was just a money symbol. We didn't know how the man looked or nothing. We just liked him.
I can't.
It had nothing to do with him being the president. Come on, man. Rappers put him in their rap song. Bro, we knew Trump because he's supposed to be a billionaire.
How is that bad again?
I'm about 5 or 6 years old and I know Donald Trump as a billionaire.
Again, remind me, how is that bad?
Leadership, bro. Don't think that people hating on Donald Trump, his presidency or nothing, bro. Bro, we see good and bad. It's good and evil, bro. We see leadership and non-leadership, bro. This is what we're trying to tell you, Shallow. Don't be one of those that cause discord against your own people, bro. Church divide, bro. I'm just saying, bro. If you don't take the people with you, make sure it's beneficial to them, bro. Just make sure it's beneficial. I'm just saying, if you're gonna sway, we have the power to sway. So I'm just letting you know that when you have the power to sway, make sure you're giving those people that you're swaying what they're getting when you take them with you.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is my one thing I want to add real quick. Now, Trump today, he compared his crowd size. He was talking about crowd sizes and stuff like this at his press conference, his presser that he did today. And at his presser, he mentioned something about crowd sizes and stuff, and which I found kind of bizarre. But what I want to do is I want to go to this video, and I would like to let me get it up, bring it back up on stage.
Real quick, have Trump did anything good at all?
Yeah. Trump, man, listen.
Evil can be good, right?
Listen, since I was 6 years old, I like Trump. Like, he was one of my role models. I'm not lying to you, bro. Like, I don't have no reason to lie to you. We looked up to Trump. Shallow Zuvi, we looked up to him as a kid because he was a billionaire. That's all we knew. You know, all we knew was he was a billionaire. We looked up to him, bro. He motivated some of us.
We don't like him.
Some people, that was our motivation, bro. To wake up and be like Trump, a billionaire. We didn't know what he did.
Right.
We just knew he was.
Now why we don't like him?
Why we don't like him? Because he did a good job of showing who he really is. And like what Maya said, when people show you who they are the first time, believe it.
Dr. Maya Angelou says that when a person show you who they are the first time, you got to believe it.
Okay. Come on, man. All we doing is believing who we saw the first time. We're not trying to fool ourselves. We seen what we seen, we get what we get, and we coming up with what we come up with. Bro.
Will Kamala Harris do anything for the black community in particular like they passed the Asian hate bill and the
Hey,
LGBT.
go ahead.
We're gonna get to that.
Can you go back to that video we played with her in 2006 when she ain't have
I'll pull it up.
the video in 2000? Let him see that. Maybe that'll touch his heart a little bit. Maybe that'll touch.
I'll pull it up.
Play that. Play that for him.
We're gonna play that. We're gonna listen to this first part after this, and then we'll come back and we'll all pick up on the debate after this.
You gonna play that?
Yeah, I'm gonna play Trump's words, and then I'm gonna have to. I gotta get the production team to go ahead on and pull up the story.
Please get that so he can see the soul in that sister, the compassion, the all that. You'll see it.
I got you. All right, hey, let's get our attentions looking up to the back of your screen, to the back of us. Listen at what former President Trump had to say today about crowd sizes, and look what he said. How bizarre!
Trump still my dog.
Were treated very unfairly, and they were there to complain, not through me. They were there to complain about an election, and it's very interesting. The biggest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I said peacefully and patriotically, which nobody wants to say, but I said peacefully and patriotically. The biggest crowd I've ever spoken to, and you've seen Maggie. I was at the mall. I was at the Washington Monument. I was at the whole thing. I had crowds. I don't know who's ever had a bigger crowd than I have, but I had it many times. The biggest crowd I've ever spoken before was that day. And I'll tell you, it's very hard to find a picture of that crowd. You see the picture of a small number of people relatively going to the Capitol, but you never see the picture of the crowd. The biggest crowd I've ever spoken, I've spoken to the biggest crowds. Nobody's spoken to crowds bigger than me. If you look at Martin Luther King, when he did his speech, his great speech, and you look at ours, same real estate, same everything, same number of people. If not, we had more. And they said he had 1 million people, but I had 25,000 people. But when you look at the exact same picture, and everything's the same because it was the fountains, the whole thing, all the way back to from Lincoln to Washington. And you look at it, and you look at the picture of his crowd, my crowd. We actually had more people.
Oh my God. Oh my God, man. It's crazy. Oh my God. If not having sense was a person. God, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh my, Shaq for president, man. Shaquille O'Neal, man. Oh my God.
Go ahead, so you got it.
Say it again.
I said, go ahead.
I just failed to realize the actual joke in the interview or whatever, the speech he was giving about a crowd size. I didn't really find that compelling for me to laugh at all. I mean, I'm watching the same video you guys are laughing. It's just the difference of opinion will sway your emotions. So for him to talk about a crowd size, I guess if it's factual, there's no photo. I remember seeing it. There was a lot of people there, for sure. That's what he's talking about. If he's illustrating his crowd size and that's appealing to people, I don't see it. But then here's what Democrats say that Republicans do, and I find it very little that Republicans are doing what Democrats do. It's like you always trying to pick at somebody. But then again, when it happens to you, you want to LGBTQ and don't hurt my feelings. What are we talking about? The man is illustrating something that he witnessed, a crowd size in a speech. Okay. He's illustrating that he's seen the most people he's ever seen in his life at a crowd during his speech. And on January 6th. What are we getting out of that to laugh about? He's illustrating.
Listen, Let me stop laughing because this ain't the laughing.
It's
No.
No,
No, listen.
no, I'm laughing at Trump because
Yeah,
Trump
hey, Shallow, hey, Zuby.
He is one of
I saw this. Hey, Zuby, this has nothing to do with
Biden
you.
talking, so
Hey,
other
Trump.
people
Hey,
can laugh.
Trump.
We're not laughing
Hey,
at you.
Trump
We laughing at Trump right
Hey,
now.
Trump is funny,
I
dog.
absolutely know why y'all laughing,
He's
brother.
funny, man.
Absolutely know this.
Hey, Zuby, the man funny, man. He is funny, dog. I'm serious, bro. He is so funny, dog. This is, oh my Lord.
But this is my thing, though. This is my thing. It's just that what we fail to realize is that he literally compared his crowd size to the people, the amount of people that was there on January the 6th, which he says never happened. It never took place.
The Million Man March. Hey, listen.
The crowd that Donald Trump had was what,
Hey,
500,000 people? It was a lot of
The
people.
number one thing we need to start realizing, look, if Trump wants to win this election, he need to get his butt out there on the campaign trail.
No, man, Trump need to stop. He need to, let's just be honest. Trump need to stop his foolishness, man. He just need to stop his foolishness. Come on, man. Come on, Shallow. Hey, Zuby, for real. He need to stop his foolishness now. That don't make no sense. Come on, man.
So are we not going to talk about the reason
I looked
why
up to you
Biden
since I was
decided to
6.
drop
Come
out?
on, man. That don't make no sense, dog. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. The boss. Can you play that video for Mr. Zuby? Because that's going to answer the question that he asked me. He asked me, what is Kamala going to do for the black people? That's going to, everything that he said about Kamala, she going to answer that for him in that.
She said happy to join. No, she said, okay, let me listen to that, what she just said. She said Trump is a great businessman, nonetheless, can't deny that. However, not qualified to run the country, as previously mentioned, he isn't thinking about the entire American population. I will be more than joining you guys in the future spin-off to discuss this topic in further detail from a woman's perspective.
And we'll love to have you.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we would love to have you.
Whenever you show that video, I got a video waiting.
Can you please play that video for him, please, so he can see?
I got a video waiting after y'all done. Whenever you.
I don't know if you might want to play a little video after you see this one.
Yeah, I'm going to wait on you, and you can go ahead on and introduce the video, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up the other video that I'm going to show you on the other side.
Well, all right. Well, this video was pertaining to what I said about other individual races, quote unquote, getting things done for them in the administration, the current administration, and black people still waiting. So this is just this is a clip of her saying she's not going to do nothing for black people. I don't know.
My weekly reminder, because I think I talk about this at least once a week in my videos, that Kamala Harris, who is now running for the presidency of the United States, has said to y'all the following. Check it out.
Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Say it with me. I'm not going to do something just for black people. No.
Oh my
she
God.
said that she has not backed off of that. She has not
Why would she?
wavered
She's supposed to be the
from that.
president for all people.
Okay, what about the Asian hate bill, which is only for Asians that was just passed?
If the president can only president one group of people, one origin of people,
I rest my case if the fact that other people, other gender groups, other races can have their own specific bills, and black people still can't get one thing to themselves. Even the civil rights wasn't for black people only. But
hey, shallow. I'm gonna tell you, like my grandma told me, sometimes you gotta be okay with an apology you'll never get.
Yeah, so we just gonna sit here and never get anything. That's basically it. The ladies, I don't know. I guess I'm living in the twilight zone where my perspective is not relevant. But
no,
hey,
your perspective is very relevant, my brother. Your
it
perspective.
is what it is. The lady didn't say she's not going to help only black people, which black people would like for somebody to help maybe black people. But again, go ahead, show me the video you're talking about.
No, I just want to go ahead on. I want to chime in on this topic that we're still discussing. But what I do want to say is that I understand like why certain individuals are going back and they are pulling videos, and that's what people are doing, because I see that people are more engaged inside the political process. Some of the people that are pulling into some of this stuff in which the fight is going to be on the social media platforms when it all is said and done, my brother. In which what we are starting to see is we're starting to see a groundswell of individuals that are coming out and they are pushing misinformation when it comes and it pertains to the presidency. Didn't one Barack Obama at one time say the exact same thing, that when he had to go out on stage and he had to literally do a speech in regards to race and to speak about how his grandmother would clutch her purse when black people would walk by because she thought that they were going to steal her or try to bribe or mug her at the time. She didn't know pretty much a lot about how to raise a person of color as they came up in the American society and being faced with hatred and bigotry during those times as he grew up. But when President Obama became the candidate as president, he gave a speech and he made that speech. He said, I'm not going to be the president only for Black America. He said, I'm the president for white America, Black America, Asian American, Latino American, gay, straight, whatever you want to be, blue state, red state, purple state, whatever. I am going to be the president for you. I'm going to be your president too. I'm not just going to be your president for one side. And I said the same exact thing for former President Trump. I want the president to do a good job if he's reelected or if she is reelected. That is the thing that I want to see. I want to see them be successful in their positions of power. But if you're going to be in a position of power, why even run for the position of power if there's so much bad that's going on in the world and that we got so much stuff that is going on? As far as I can tell, we came out of a pandemic. The United States is the only country to be able to bounce back from the pandemic as fast and as quick as it did. Last I checked, the last 3 Republican presidents from 88 to 93, to 93, President Clinton had to come in and clean up the mess that the 12 years of the Reagan and H.W. Bush administration, from passing ginormous tax cuts and doggone putting it on the back of individual citizens as us to pay for those tax cuts from trickle-down economics that did not trickle down. George H.W. Bush raised taxes on high-earning individuals. He made sure that doggone corporate tax rates had to go back to the original rates that they were, because we were not going to be able to sustain this country as a country. Number 2, the next president that had to come in to clean up that problem was one William Jefferson Clinton, also known as Bill Clinton. He came in, he had to clean up the mess from that 12-year administration. It was a surplus. Nobody don't want to talk about the surplus and how the Democrats came in and cleaned it up in 8 years. Al Gore, he lost, but we're not going to discuss that story here or there, because we know how one George W. Bush became president illegitimately, might I add, but that's my opinion. Now, let me finish my point. So Bush 8 years, subprime mortgage market crash, the economy goes into a recession. Same way that it happened in the late 80s, early 90s. Country on the brink of a recession. We go into a recession under Bush. Who comes in to say today? Another Democratic president. One President Obama and one Vice President Biden. They come in, they save the auto industry, they build the country back up, they build up the safeguards and stuff to make sure that we don't get back into that situation that we got into by these big banks, and they had to bail out the banks, and then they turn around and tuck our money and go and carry parachutes to stroke their egos while everybody in the country on Main Street was doing bad. They got the money. They leave office, comes in Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he runs the deficit up more than any president in the United States history. He added $6 trillion to the national debt, and he put it on the credit card without any safeguards to make sure that this didn't happen. What happens? Trump administration within the first 2 years, it starts the pillars of the economy start to shake. Inflation starts to go up. Money is coming in, but money ain't going out. So what happens? Then we get a pandemic. Post-pandemic, 16 trillion. After that, then comes in one President Biden. We were losing people, thousands of people a day from COVID. We needed a steady hand to come in and handle this situation and this crisis. Every time in my adult life, I've always seen the Democrat come in and be able to save the day by making sure that the bills got paid and that the American people in the middle class weren't forgot about. The middle class has been forgotten about in this country so much, and it's only been catered to people that are high wealth earners and people that own businesses. I do not agree with that. And if we're going to sit back here and we're going to go back to what we just came from, why the hell do we want to put our country back in the hole that President Trump ran the deficit up in the 4 years he was there? President Biden only had $4 trillion. He ran the deficit up to $4 trillion, which is doggone substantially lower than what Trump did. And all of those safeguards that were put in, everything is getting paid for. It's not on the credit card. But we forget about deficits. Like deficits don't matter. And this young individual, this sister that we got that's on the screen, I don't understand why she's up there having a big issue about not voting for one Kamala Harris. But my question is, you really think that Donald Trump is going to come in and be president and he's going to be your champion? He's going to be your champion. What happened to the Republican Party? What happened to the party of fiscal conservatism? What happened to the party that wanted to get bills paid? What happened to that party? Where is it?
The same party is going to affect your grandmother from trying to turn her Social Security off.
The same party.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go ahead. We're going to go to this video, my brother. You want to weigh in on what I just said, my boy?
Oh, yeah. I just throw in a few words, but hey, it is what it is. Every presidency is going to ride off the presidency from before. Fast track during Obama.
Trump rolled off of the Obama Biden presidency, just like Bush rolled off of the surpluses that in the safeguards that was in there and what they did. They took all the money that was saved and they spun it.
So during
hold on, Shallow, before you start, because we missing a lot of points that we can give them going on. Let's just tackle this point. Okay, so you say that every president inherits the next president, whatever he do, right?
In so many ways, yeah.
No, that's what you said. We ain't trying to clean it up because you know where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going there. Yes.
Okay, so gas prices, milk, food, all that's high because of who afforded what them he was?
45.
45.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the people are complaining for 4 years because of what? Who had the rim 4 years?
Now you're going to mislead
people. We're making a point.
The reason why gas prices are going up.
I just want to make sure we have every point because y'all saying that every president inherit
Ukraine.
Now from the Obama Biden. Listen, man, I'm just trying to make points, bro, because we're missing a lot of points going on rapidly. From the Obama Biden administration, you got the stimulus check, all of that stuff that Trump took credit for, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so why is everybody blaming Biden and Harris for everything that Trump set in place? Make it make sense. You just said, as a Republican, as Trump support, independent, but probably going to go with the red, that all the presidents inherit from the president before, correct?
Absolutely.
So if everybody's been complaining these last 4 years, who set it up? Be honest. Who set it up? I'm just asking the question. Who set it up?
We talking about policies, right? That's getting passed on in the presidency.
All right, well, Trump was 45, Biden was 46. So if you're going through anything these last 4 years, it was Trump's fault. That's all I was trying to make. Now, Mr. Zui, you can go on with your point.
I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Mrs. Zoe.
I want him to finish his point, but I just want to.
It's gonna be like 45 seconds on the video.
No,
he didn't make his point yet.
Go ahead, Zoe.
Real quick, I'm just gonna mention that wars take place and geopolitical issues happen to where sanctions are put on people and gas prices get in the mix because of that. That's all I'm gonna add.
You're right. Okay, we're gonna go. Let's go to the video so it can go ahead and then bring reference to the other video that we just got finished listening to. So I'm going to turn this over to this, and we're going to talk about this on the other side. It's going to be probably about like less than 60 seconds, I think. Here we go.
All right.
Don't inspire hope necessarily that there are going to be enough of us around in the coming months and years, certainly years, to implement this covenant the way these numbers are going.
The covenant, first of all, Tavis, I want to thank you for what you've done bringing us together and convening us. We've had a lot of time waiting to come out to talk with each other and fun, and it's an incredible group. The criminal justice system is not working for the African American community. I can tell you as the chief law enforcement officer for a major city in this country that it is not working. We see that in the statistics that you've outlined. 2 million people.
We're just waiting. It's just buffering for some reason.
People are in the prison system in this country. Over 40% are African American, in spite of the fact that we only constitute 13% of the general population. It's not working. It's not working when we recognize that African American men, the leading cause of their death is homicide. We are overly represented both as victims and as defendants and as witnesses. Our communities suffer because our babies hear the gunfire every night. So the 7-year-old has post-traumatic stress disorder and cannot go to school the next day and learn. The criminal justice system is not working for us. What I think we have failed to do as a community, however, is own this issue of law enforcement. We talk about these statistics in the context always of it is unfair, it's morally incorrect. Maybe we have learned that from the church. It is morally incorrect, but nobody cares about that. You can look at Katrina. Nobody cares about the fact that we've got a bunch of young black and brown men in prison. That argument is not working. What I suggest we do as African Americans is
clean it up, girl. Clean it up,
and then define it in the way that works for us, because it is a myth to say that African Americans don't want law enforcement. We do. We want our grandmothers to be able to walk to church and be safe. We want our babies to be able to walk to the park and be safe. What we don't want is racial profiling. What we don't want is excessive force. What we don't want is to have our civil liberties and civil rights be stripped. But we do want law enforcement. So let's define it in the way that works for us by saying, I want community policing. I want a police department that works in my neighborhood and in my community that reflects the mores and the culture and respects my grandmother, again, when they walk in to talk to her. I want a system of accountability in the criminal justice system that says law enforcement needs to own crime prevention as much as it talks about long sentences. Because nationally, only 18% of serious crime results in an arrest. So if I, as law enforcement, with my responsibility to keep you safe, only talk about keeping you safe by sending people to prison for a long time, I'm necessarily going to fall short because the vast majority of that time's not even hitting my system. So if I'm going to keep my promise to you to keep you safe, I better talk with you about what I'm doing in terms of crime prevention, which means recognizing
Clean it up,
that people
baby.
coming out of the state prisons, 60% will recidivate if we don't get them in reentry programs, if we don't get them in job training, job readiness, get them in programs that deal with their substance abuse, get them in meaningful housing and employment so they don't recidivate. We can talk about it in terms of, is it the right thing to do? Of course it is. But you know, I'm done talking about it like that. I'll just talk about it on this basis. If that person commits another crime, I have to spend $10,000 to try that felony. They sit in my county jail for $35,000 a year. I'm running a reentry program out of my office in the San Francisco DA's office that brings folks back into the community at an expense of $8,000 a year. Guarantees them employment, guarantees them meaningful reunification with their
Got it all wrong
families.
about
And in
the
that way,
y'all got it all
fulfills
wrong
my
about her.
responsibility to keep my community
You got
safe.
it all
So let's
wrong about her. She care about you,
redefine this
man.
issue in the context of public safety and just simply talk about doing crime prevention, investing in people coming out of prisons is the smart thing to do for law enforcement. Forget that it's just the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do.
Thank you, Kamala. Madam DA.
That's a leader. That's way back in 2006. She was a leader then. But to Mr. Zuvi, that's what she'll do for people that I love, people that I care about, people that affect me every day. I ain't have to answer that question. She did it for me way back in 2000.
Same thing Donald Trump said, more law enforcement. There's no contrast difference there. So I see nothing that you said that was different than what Donald Trump said. Who's the champion of law enforcement?
She broke it down, but she locked up all those African American people, but she care about them though. She just said that.
What's the difference between Donald Trump, who everybody know is the head honcho of law enforcement, black to blue? What's the contrast there? I see no different. Donald Trump could give the same speech that he want more law enforcement so your grandma can go to church. What's the difference? Donald Trump is a proponent, the head honcho of law enforcement. I didn't see anything that's going to sway me. If anything, listen, I look at this in the perspective of a real black man who has 2 convicted felonies, who's been put against and oppressed by the system. I am him. I'm the real black man who's been to jail, done bids from 13 to 25, who is now 31. I am him. When I see people talk about law enforcement who used to want to be law enforcement, I am him. So her telling me about law enforcement is no different than Donald Trump saying how much he loved the law. What are we talking about here? They still want to protect our families. What are we talking about? What we should be talking about is how can convicted felons get jobs? I mean, Donald Trump, aka a convicted felon.
Oh, stop right there! Stop!
Why I gotta
stop? Why do you say that?
Keep going,
what we should be talking about is why a convicted felon. Say what? Say it again.
I want to run for president. Yes, I do. What? So I can't now? Like, what are we talking about? Let's be serious here.
So you promoting it? So you know I can't run because I'm black and I got a felon. You promote Trump because you got ambitions on being a felon president. Oh, okay, I get it.
Let's just kill that because we don't got good ideas because we got a charge and I was labeled something. Let's just kill that. Right?
Oh, I got you. No, I got you.
Felon, fam. What are we talking about?
But Shallow, one thing about it, you a convicted felon, and if you listen, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But if you even consider to open your mouth or even thought about being president, they'll shut it down, bro. So
and you think I'm going to fight, cry? No, because the law doesn't prohibit it.
But you should cry because the man that you're defending has 34 felonies, Shallow. And if I get caught smoking weed in my car tomorrow and get convicted of that smoking, they're taking my license or suspended. And every time I try to get a good job, a job that per se people call, the middle class call a career job, something that you gonna go to work every week, but you still gonna struggle to pay your bills, but you gonna live comfortably. Man, y'all.
I'm listening to him so I can rebuttal. I don't want to just interrupt.
Now go ahead.
Okay.
I don't understand. I just don't.
You could include me as a middle income with all my jobs that I have, and I make a decent, maybe a little bit under 100K a year. So I'm in the middle class, working poor class.
You should have more money than that in your pocket, but we continue to keep on. But people continue to keep falling for the okie doke and keep putting people in there that's not going to fix the problem.
Yeah.
And then we always look at we have a 2-tier, we got a 3-tier system. We have the executive, the legislative, and the judicial branches. Well, why is the judicial branch still got their foot on our neck? And why does the doggone United States Congress still got their foot on our necks? You make great invalid points. And you're right about all of this stuff. Why haven't the George Floyd Policing and Reform Bill hasn't been passed? Why hasn't the John Lewis Voting Rights Act have been passed? These people don't want to see these things to become the law of the land because they have their own personal agendas of what they want to do and how they want to doggone continue to dehumanize us as individuals and as American citizens.
Yes.
It's not fair.
Yes.
It's a messed up system.
Yes.
Everybody got rights and got laws and stuff that was passed to protect them. But we still sit around and we still reciprocate and we continue to keep on talking about the same old lukewarm things every 4 to 2 years. We only talk about these situations and these problems. That's why we got to do our job as men, and we got to make sure that we keep we got to continue to keep the top.
My question to, I ain't mean to interrupt you, but my question to all the listeners and all my fellow brothers on the podcast, when you're looking at this video, do you see a leader? Do you see compassion? Do you see somebody that done been in the fire, that done experienced these issues, that done been fighting with this, done been on front line trying to change these issues? Do you see that in this video?
I don't see it. And I would say that, because I'm in the middle of the road. So I see it. But my thing is, I don't understand, it's just like so many people just continue to forget about the situation. We as a community holds the keys to power. It's up to us. But the thing is, our vote comes with a plan. It's up to our people to continue to get rid of this hatred spirit that we got for each other, and we need to come together and do like the Mexicans do. Yep. Do like the Indian people do that come over here to this country. Do like the Haitian people do that come over to this country. They work together. They stay in one house. They build their wealth up. It's like 10 to 15 of them living in one house. And as they start to continue to make money, they put their money together and they get enough money and they help their brother, they help their family member move into the next home. And then after that, they don't doggone rent out half of the houses on the block. Now they don't bought the whole block. And now we sitting around and we looking at ourselves like, God damn, what's going on? They don't bought the whole block out. Their whole family live on the block now. They own the block.
That's because they build up. They don't tell them.
They want to do these things. And just like Byron Donald said that during the civil rights movement that our people were more we were more of a family component at the time during the civil rights movement, which he has a small point, but Jim Crow didn't do anything for our people, but kept and continued to oppress our people. But the one thing that our people did do during that time is that they kept the black dollar in-house. That money went around one time. Everybody that I talked to, from my elders and stuff that I don't spoke to over the years, they tell me about how the black dollar went around in our community and where we come from in Fort Pierce, Florida. They talk about that all the time. They say that back in the day when Fort Pierce, when it was just a black section, our money went around one time. It was about keeping everything together. And then all of a sudden, during the Nixon years, a lot of the fabric started to break away from them. We felt that we were like, dang, we're not going to be treated fairly, even though we got the Civil Rights Act and we got affirmative action, but we still can't get a hand up. They always tell us, this party always tell us, pull yourselves up by your own bootstraps. I'm gonna pull my myself up by my bootstraps, but you got your foot on my neck. Those are the questions that need to be talked about. Those are the things that we need to be pushing. And those are the things that we need to continue to keep on pushing. If we don't do that, we done. We done, America. Like they say, hey, this might be it. It may be. Trump said, hey, just vote for me one time and you ain't got to worry about it no more. We're going to fix it real good so you ain't got to worry about voting no more. We're going to get that thing fixed. Questions?
Sorry?
I said, response?
Oh, no, I don't have any response for it. That was a good video dated back 2006, almost 18 years ago. So if you still have that same opinion then, you probably still have the same opinion now. Ain't no telling, you probably can do great things. It all depends on who's in your corner and who's helping you dictate these powers that you're given once you reach the position of presidency. But other than that, it's all about ideology until we reach there. Everybody got a platform to run on, rather it be a platform everybody agree on or a platform nobody agree on. You still got to run on something. As the wise man said earlier, if you don't run for something, you ain't gonna run for nothing. But he said standing. But I ain't got much to say after that.
Well, it sums up everything right there. But Trump focuses on the Georgia election, bond, board rules, fears for November woes. They're saying that they're not going to certify the election until 2 months later.
Georgia is not certified an election after November into January?
Yes, sir. This came down from the election board in Georgia. Georgia, we see you.
And so we doing things that's not quote unquote unconstitutional, but now we're moving towards a year 2024 when everything and all things we know prior is unconventional. There's nothing that we're doing right now that has been done ever. Everything that we never had a president drop out of a race late into the presidency. We never had a state push back the certifications of the vote 2 months after so everything points in the direction of chaos because things like that can allude to chaos. You're looking for a result after the election, you're not going to get it because you got to wait 2 months. So how much conspiracy is going to raise between then and then? So much. So yeah.
I don't understand. It's like, okay, you always talk about we want people to vote. They want people to vote. You want people to vote. But every time I look up, you always trying to find a way to suppress the vote.
As of right now, that cannot be overtly directed to somebody who is a non-member. That just can't. Like, if we using common sense, whoever got the pen in their hand is responsible.
This is from the election board of
correct. And we may say Democrats may say that
comes from the Secretary of State's office. It doesn't get no higher than that, my brother.
Donald Trump don't have no influence outside of.
We don't know. We don't know. At the end of the day, how many fake slate of electors that Republicans sent to Capitol Hill that were not certified by the states?
I don't know. So
it was 6 of them from the toss-up states during the 2020 election. They sent they sent 6 different slate of electors to DC. That's illegal. You can't certify an election if you're not a state official. It has to have that seal of the House Speaker, the Speaker of the House of that state, and signed by the governor. That's illegal. Why are we talking about this? But now you can see that in Georgia, they met right downstairs after the Democrat state of electors were being selected as delegates for the vote to go to DC in 2020. They were down the hall with their own fake set of electors that they sent to DC too. But we won't talk about that. This is what I'm trying to say. It is a systematic problem throughout the country in red states in America. It's ridiculous. And it needs to come to an end, bro. We got to stop it. This is almost like a poll, like how poll laws used to be. I remember my grandma told me, say the first time that they were able to go and vote, they asked them, you need to count how many, you need to tell us how many, what you call it? What it was she said? She said it was like a jar they had. And she said they used to ask them how many, what you call it? How many pennies or how many nuts are inside of in the jar. If you can guess the right number, you can go in there and vote. But this is supposed to be a constitutional republic, correct?
Absolutely.
That's what they tell you.
So what happened?
Well, I mean, keep shouting democracy, you're gonna get a dictatorship. So that's what happened.
How? Because I only see one side that is talking that dictator crap. I ain't see the Democrats talk, the dictator talk yet. Every Democratic president turned it over to everybody.
Yeah, so the rules and regulations set in a republic that's geared towards the democracy would lead to an eventual dictatorship. So when you saying that everybody is equal and all of that, huh?
Where would you say that we are at on this particular moment as an American people? That's the question.
We're on a fine line of division, honestly. A fine line of division, because a lot of people over the course of 4 to 8 years have been waking up to differences of politics and information. Rather it be misleading, rather it be truthful, everybody got a view of their own and they're able to formulate their own opinion. So we are very well on the line of the vision. All signs point towards it. All of these policies, not like you just said, the recent revelation of Georgia pushing to certify the votes 2 months after the election, the recent dropping of the current president, who was supposed to be a 2-term president, who's dropped out in the middle of a race. Like a lot of unpresidential things are happening. All these countries are having elections in the same year. A possible riot, civil war happening in Britain. Like it's too much things happening in this year alone. And you know, all things indicate towards when you spread so much democracy, it leads to some form of somebody taking over sooner rather than later, because you gave up all your privacy. You gave up all your privileges and privacy for what? Equality?
That's just like TikTok. I'm gonna use TikTok for a prime example. Why is it that we don't want TikTok? We want to regulate China from from getting our information. But what about Elon and Zuckerberg that's selling us all to the highest bidder? What about them?
Everybody doing the same thing. They just don't want their
thing. So in other words, so why are we having the conversation if we're not having the right conversations?
Exactly. There we go. That's a global conversation right there. You talking about, boss man? That's a global conversation on a geopolitical term. Right now, we can only deal with the municipal or the county, at the very most the state level, to what we can deal with. But if we all put our heads together and have a bigger platform, then we could talk about the global economics of the situation, right? So having knowledge of it globally change your realm, the way you think. Because if you just think locally, everything would just be a local thought. But if you think globally, then now you have to collectively think about everybody else and their feelings and how it affect everybody collectively at one time, right? So, yeah, you don't want your opponent across the seas, China, having all your information. You want it to yourself so you can keep feeding your people and keep raping in all the billions from the ad views and all the private information. Do you not know we just experienced the second largest crypto scam. I mean, not crypto scam. Data breaching 2.9 billion people information. I believe 2.9 is it billion or million people's information. I believe in South Florida or even in the United States alone was exposed. Right, the numbers is either 2.9 million or 2.9 billion. It's just the second most hot. The first was 3 point, rather is billion or million. That was the first highest. This is 2.9. So it's a lot of things going on with these tech companies that they stealing our information.
I got something I want to play for you. So this is something you talked about, and I want to go back to Biden. And you said the way that they pushed him out. I wanted to play something that you said just a few weeks ago on the platform. Hold on.
Yeah, sure.
Conservative. They like the country how it's been going. There's a little bit of progressiveness because it has some socialism in it. It's good because it moves the needle, right? Every so often you need the needle to move. But if you have a party that's always adding more needles to a thermometer that doesn't need more than one needle, you have an issue. A clock only has 2 arms. Three arms, all hour, minute, and second. Now you go add a microsecond, you got one more thing to worry about. Why we need microseconds and clocks now? Because now we're being even more impatient. We're worried about milliseconds, off of seconds, off of minutes, off of hours. You see what I'm saying? So when you start being too progressive, you start adding more variables, people start to be like, you're doing too much. That's what's going on with today in society. Half the country.
Okay, so now that alludes back to your point from what you were making earlier. It's like, you know that his cognitive wasn't there. Half the country knew that. We knew it was time for Biden to go, correct?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
My thing is, why does Trump want to sit up and he wanted to debate somebody that he can beat up on that he knew that grandpa wasn't all there?
It was the political atmosphere,
exactly.
The realm.
I would want to go against somebody that I knew had some type of issue as far as their cognitive distancy. Their cognitive is off. I would love to run against that. Who wouldn't?
Right.
But the question is, if that was the case 4 years ago, he should have cruised to election, because if they knew this is how he was during that time, it's almost like the American people already knew exactly what they wanted. They didn't want that anymore. They wanted some normalcy into the White House. So in closing, I guess we can go ahead on and we can get ready to call it the show now. We have went 2 hours and 6 minutes, which is by far probably we are getting to a good point. With our live streams, we have more people that are chiming in. We got people that are chiming in from Twitch. We see you. We will be talking to y'all more and more as the days go on. Also, our brothers and sisters over on YouTube. Tomorrow, we're going to try to do a bonus show tomorrow, because we're going to have some more news and stuff that's going to be going on throughout the next couple of days. And therefore, we want to and we just want to make sure that everybody knows that, hey, we see you. We understand what's going on out here in this country, and we want to all make a difference. But don't let us sit here and make you think that we're arguing with each other and we're being a little bit forceful or whatever. This is what the American people do. We have healthy conversation. And if we have healthy conversation and we're able to debate each other the way that we do constantly on a daily basis, I think it'll make this world a better place. And that's what we got to make sure that we strive for, to get to that more perfect union that President Reagan will often say. And also, I want to leave off with a little bit of JFK. Is that that a lot of things that we deal with inside of this country aren't all about left and right issues. It's all about the people that live in the heartland and the people that are the working poor in this country. And if you feeling the crunch, Trust me, it's a lot of more people that's feeling the crunch because these jobs are only paying you just enough money just to come back. Now I'm a hush. Zoe, some final words.
I did want to say something, but I don't think it's really necessary to say that. But what I do want the people to do, and I kind of always lead off with this, is do your own due diligence, research, formulate thought, talk amongst your peers, but most importantly, go out there and vote. Every vote counts and every vote matters. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave y'all with that thought there.
I don't have nothing.
Yeah, just like again, like keeping one informed, keeping everybody, so different, different, point of views and stuff, and then you make your own choice. That's all.
All right, and there you have it. Here's to another successful show this evening. And I just want to just let you guys know, we were supposed to get to the polls, but we are going to be doing some in between live breakdowns and stuff from individual topics from each other. And hopefully we'll probably be able to get our first video up pretty soon once we can be able to get everybody to get their parts and written in so that way we can make it move a little smooth on it.
I do want to say I wish we could have got to the polls though, because the polls was looking nice.
Do y'all got 5 minutes? All right, we got 5 minutes. So if you want to go ahead I'll share your screen real quick.
Yeah, give me yep.
Because right now I seen the polls nationally that Kamala Harris is leading by 8 points nationally.
Yeah, I was very surprised looking at the polls, and I was like, I got it up if you want to put it up there.
All right, 1 second. All right, there we go.
All right, as you can see, we got the national polls with Harris leading within the margin of error of 3%.
Do you have the map too?
The map, yeah, the map is crap. No, I don't have the map on this.
Go ahead, you can go ahead on and do the breakdown, and then what we'll do is we need to go and look at the map.
Yeah, I can get the map next. I had it on the last one. But currently as it stands, as of August 7th, the national polls has Harris leading 2.7% over Donald Trump 45%. So it's looking pretty healthy for Harris in the national polls as of late. And that was yesterday when the polls was taken. And if you want to just look at Georgia, the Georgia polls as well, you got Trump leading 1% in Georgia. It's not much that you can say about the lead. Again, margin of error is 3%. Trump is up 1, so you can say they are deadlocked. They're tied right now in Georgia. Trump got a margin of a big lead in Montana, but we're not worried about it. We're worried about the battleground states, right? Pennsylvania, another one. 46 Trump, 47 Harris, but within the margin of error. Harris is up 0.3%, but it's, like I said, 3% is the margin of error, so that's another deadlock. We're going to move.
Mind you, these are people that have landlines, and these are people that they are not polling young people. So remember that.
Right.
They are not polling young people. It's only a poll of like 1,001.
Right. And so these polls are going to be as accurate as it can be with the limited amount of people that are in these polls, right? So we looked at Pennsylvania, we looked at Georgia. Now we're going to take a good look at where is Michigan? It's not on here.
Yes, it is. It's right here.
Where you see it at? Oh, there we go, Michigan. Okay. So in Michigan, you also got the Trump Harris camp leading in Michigan, another good swing state. And she went they need these states, Michigan, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But now the map is open because now it's gonna bring in North Carolina will be a toss up. It's going to be a toss up probably by tomorrow because it's going to be another Harris poll not Harris. I'm talking about the Harris polling, and Seneca is probably going to be having another poll that's going to come out on tomorrow. So I want to see what the polls are going to look like, because now they're saying that it looks like it's a honeymoon phase, but the question is this honeymoon phase is going to go through the convention and beyond? That's the question. How long will this happen? We haven't seen this type of polling and stuff that's been taking place since the Obama administration.
Exactly. So we are in what you just described as the honeymoon phase, with invigorating support going on for the Harris camp. So as it sits, people who are voting for Trump has always voted for Trump, but the Harris camp, with her numbers looking as fantastic as they are right now,
Those are regenerated Democrats. Those are regenerated Democrats that's going to come out and vote now for all the Democratic ticket.
Right, and also within that realm of the honeymoon phase, so they could die out or it keep going up. You know what I mean? So, but nationally, if you got the Democrats on as your favorite on the ticket, you have, if the election was tomorrow, you would have Harris winning within the margin of error, roughly, with just 0.3% to say that the votes will go for Harris if it was a national poll. I mean, if it was the election tomorrow.
Exactly. Can we get that map up?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. So
I'll remove from the screen and we'll go ahead and we'll talk. When I was like, the thing is that polls are only snapshots in time. American people, just know that polls are snapshots in time. We don't know exactly what these predictors would entail over the next couple of weeks, over the next couple of months. It's just that if you're planning to vote and you're making a plan to vote, if you live in any state like it's Florida, Georgia, and those type of states, reach out to your supervisor elections office, call them, try to make a plan to get out and vote. Try to see if you can be able to get a ballot. See if you can get your absentee ballot. Do your ballot, vote early. Because a lot of people show up on election day to go out and vote. But some people actually vote by mail, in which I'm one of those people that like to vote by mail. Can you zoom in on your screen some so we can get a closer look on it? Can you zoom it in?
Oh.
All right, there we go. Zoom it in.
I'm trying. That's probably the most I got right now. I have to.
Just did it.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
Oh.
there you go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, let's go through the breakdown. Okay, we got the path to 270. It said 140 for the Democrats. It's 226, and the Republicans at 235. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 2, 4, 6 toss-up states.
Yep, 6
the
states.
The map is actually opening more because North Carolina, from the numbers that I've seen from North Carolina, it's going to be tighter than doggone. It's going to be one of the tightest races that we've seen since the Obama administration, since 2008. So if you want to turn North Carolina to a toss-up, you need to take that out. Toss-up state now from this last poll that I just saw. So therefore, it's going to take it to 7 battlegrounds. And out these 7 battlegrounds, hey, we got to see how we're going to get them. According to all the polls from what you just said, you said she's up in Michigan, correct?
Yep.
Let's click on that. Let's turn that light blue, leaning. And go to Wisconsin, leaning. She's in Wisconsin.
All right.
Pennsylvania, she is leaning. Pennsylvania is leaning back blue. That's the presidency, if that holds. North Carolina. Yep. If we go out to Nevada, Nevada is back leaning to Kamala. Arizona is leaning more red now. Still a toss-up at this point. Georgia is leaning Republican. And North Carolina is leaning Democrat. If that map was to hold, she will have 292 electoral points. If not, if it goes Georgia, could you go to Georgia, turn that leaning likely blue, and you go to Arizona and lean it likely blue. This is where the presidency stands at as of right now. If the election was held right now today, Kamala Harris would be the president of the United States. Just off these numbers. But I've been hearing some rumblings and grumblings down here in the state of Florida because Florida has a surge in volunteers. The number is up to 19,000 volunteers statewide. We haven't seen those numbers in a long time in the state of Florida. They say Florida is ruby red, but I beg to differ. It's a lot of Democrats that stay home and they say, oh, we got 1 million Republicans, but all Republicans don't vote Republican. They split tickets. So don't fall for the okie doke. Questions? You got anything you want to add on this, Zoe?
No. I'm content with how the election are going to go with the states. I'm not well versed in the individual states swinging, whether it's full red or full blue. Likely, I'm not well versed in it. I'll let you control the map. I'll just continue getting into the politics and the geopolitical atmosphere.
Right, because right now, North Carolina, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin are all leaning, not likely, they're leaning Democratic right now. We're not at a phase where we can just say that it's going to be likely. If we say likely, it's a slam dunk. If Kamala can wrap up Virginia and North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan on election night, the presidency is already hers. Even if he was to win in Wisconsin and pick off Arizona or Nevada, he would still lose.
But isn't Georgia red?
Yes, but right now it's leaning. It's leaning blue now. Because of the last poll that we just got finished reading off on. It's close. It's leaning. It's a toss-up. But that's why I said it's likely. Not likely, but it's leaning. But it's still a toss-up right now. Because we 2 months out. We 90 days away. No, 89 days away from the election. So on election night, we'll be sitting here and we'll be talking about it. Oh, look at the electoral map from 2020. Let's see what changed. You clicked on it?
Yeah.
All right, there it is. That's a 2020 map.
Yeah, it's 2024.
You're right there. There it is.
I believe it's on 2020 now.
Because Biden won that whole blue wall. Georgia was blue. Arizona was blue. And that's the change as of right now. Because when we look at it, you're looking at the different changes and how things are swinging. You see how it's +1, -1. Those are seats right there that are open right now for those particular congressional districts and those Senate seats. In Florida, Governor Scott is in the Governor Scott is in Governor Scott is inside of one of the tightest races I ever seen in the state of Florida history. But we know what they expect.
Wait, why do we have this as an ad?
That's crazy.
I'm sorry.
It pops up on everybody else's stuff, so don't feel bad. But that's where we stand at. But now with that in closing, I just want to go ahead on and thank everybody on this evening for giving us the opportunity to be able to come into your own homes and stuff and to be able to speak to y'all as citizens of this country. We want to thank y'all again for taking y'all time out to let us talk to y'all. I'm pretty sure we will be talking again tomorrow because there's gonna probably be some breaking news throughout the day, and I'll be locked in as normal. I'll be sitting here working my butt off trying to get our first video up with the breakdowns on a lot of these different topics that we talked about on this evening. So thank y'all again, our brothers and sisters that's over on Twitch. We thank y'all for tuning in tonight, and as well as YouTube. We thank everybody that tuned in this evening on YouTube, and we'll be answering those questions and stuff. So in closing, thank y'all again, and we look forward. Y'all stay safe, be kind to one another, and just stick to doing things the American way. Zo.
Zuvia, both.
Peace.
Ah.
Peace up. A-Town down.